Hey everyone, it's November 29th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with serial killer Jesse Harding Pomeroy, known as the Boy Fiend, who murdered at least 2, but perhaps as many as 29 victims as a teenager. And that is him right over there. Born in 1860, Pomeroy grew up in a rough part of South Boston, which is redundant since all of America's worst city, Boston, is a rough part of Boston. His mother earned her living as a dressmaker, and Pomeroy stood out among children in the neighborhood due to having a cleft palate and an eye that was clouded over, with even his own father making fun of him relentlessly. He suffered frequent beatings at home and was bullied at school, and soon he started acting out by abusing animals, including his own family's pets. Pomeroy didn't stop there, and by the age of 11, he was torturing young children in the neighborhood. In 1871 and 72, he took a total of 8 young boys to a secluded area where he stripped them nude and tied them up. His first few victims he merely beat until they were covered in bruises, but with his last few, he used a knife, cutting them and drawing blood, even attempting to slice off the genitalia of one and biting chunks of flesh from another. The victims were able to describe him to the police, and they arrested the 12-year-old. Pomeroy was sent to reform school, where he was supposed to stay until turning 18. He was on his best behavior at the school, however, knowing that was his only chance to be released early, and his mother lobbied to have him released, which he was after only a few months in captivity. Pomeroy wasn't reformed, however, and when he got out, his crimes escalated. In 1874, he abducted and killed a 10-year-old girl, beating and mutilating her body before burying it beneath the floorboards of his mother's house. A month later, he took a 4-year-old boy out into a marsh near the beach, where he slashed him with a knife, nearly decapitating his victim. Pomeroy was immediately a suspect in the killing, and police picked him up carrying a knife with bloodstains on his clothes. His shoes matched those of footprints found near the dead body, and when asked if he'd killed him, Pomeroy simply said, "I suppose I did." At that point, they searched his home and found the body of the 10-year-old girl, and he confessed to her murder as well. He then confessed to killing 27 others and said he had buried 12 victims around his mother's house. I've been unable to find any confirmation of the additional murders even happening, and he was never charged with them. One theory about his behavior was that because his mother had visited the slaughterhouse where his father worked when she was pregnant, he had a thirst for blood imprinted on him while in utero. But at his trial, arguments were made that dime novels about sex and crime were to blame for his moral failings, an argument that we've seen repeated with things like heavy metal music and video games throughout the years. Pomeroy was convicted of multiple murders, being sentenced to death by hanging, but his sentence was commuted to life in prison due to his young age. He was in solitary confinement for the first 41 years of his sentence, spending his time learning languages and writing books. An autobiography and a book of poetry were both published, before being allowed contact with other prisoners for the last few years of his life. Pomeroy died behind bars at the age of 72 in 1932. If this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so I can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Jesse Harding Pomeroy, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.